if you do recruit across multiple cities, is it important not to recruit at the same firms? So, for example, should you not recruit for IB Goldman Sachs in Chicago and IB Goldman Sachs in New York? Going off of that, could you recruit for IB Goldman Sachs Chicago and like sales and trading Goldman Sachs New York? Is that something that's like feasible or?
Whew, good question. I'll do my best to answer, and I'll just say, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, we want to empower you to get these answers to these questions through networking. Talk to the real Goldman Sachs bankers, right? But I'm a safe space. You can ask me these types of questions. I'll give you the best answer I have. So if you're recruiting and you've decided Goldman Sachs is my number one, that's a fine goal. If that's your goal, then recruiting across multiple cities, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, maybe there's another office that you've got your eye on. Recruit for all of them because it's a consistent story, right? All you got to tell them is Goldman's my number one. It's Goldman or bust. I'm going to be a Goldman banker, or I don't care. I'm looking at every city that has a sizable Goldman office. But you see how that's a clean and clear narrative?
Yeah.
People at Goldman are going to hear that like, okay, this guy gets it. We're the best, right? Because that's what Goldman's going to say. And most firms feel that way, because they've got strong cultures. So that's one way you can get around the city thing is by laser focusing on a firm. Now, it would be weird if you were recruiting for Goldman investment banking in New York and then Goldman sales and trading, I don't know, in Chicago. That would be kind of weird, but likely those processes are run by very different people who don't probably interact and share notes about recruiting. I'm guessing, I don't know that. Find out for sure by talking to real people who are at Goldman through your networking process. But my guess would be there's probably not a lot of interconnection between those two because of how large the firms are, how far away, and how those are different business units basically. If you've got a story as to why, then it can work. But if you're just sort of like shooting in the dark and just testing stuff out, then it's probably not a good idea.